going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are on day 9 of our 1 year through the Bible walk. This is the devotional I am using to get my reading plan. This devotional does have a lot of good stuff in it as far as devotional goes, but these videos aren't always going to go off of the lesson that they're trying to teach through the devotional. With that being said, today's reading was Genesis 24 all the way through 28, verse 9, and we stopped after verse 9. It was a little bit of Game of Thrones type stuff going on. So Abraham basically sent out some servants and was like, you need to find a wife for my son Isaac. The servants went out and found Rebecca, which at the time, Rebecca was pretty awesome. It seemed like she seemed like she was the right woman for Isaac. So Isaac and Rebecca ended up getting married, and they ended up having twins, Esau, which was the firstborn, and then Jacob. And this is kind of where it starts getting into that weird, like, Game of Thronesy type stuff in the story. But it was kind of cool. At one point, Esau, who was out working in the field, kind of worked himself really hard, and he came in, and Jacob was making some stew, basically, and Esau was like, dude, I'm hungry, please give me some food to eat, I'm starving. And Jacob was like, okay, cool, but sell me your birthright in trade for some food. And at the time, during that time, the firstborn basically was entitled to twice as much as the secondborn, as far as like inheritance and things like that. But Jacob, was like, if you sell me your birthright, if you give me your birthright, I'll give you some of this food. And Esau's like, I'm starving to death, I'm about to die, what good is my birthright going to do me anyway, so fine, whatever. And Jacob's like, okay, cool, now that I got your birthright, here's some food. And Esau kind of was a little, angry at him for kind of taking advantage of the situation. And, I guess I can understand why, but whatever. Moving on. A little time goes on, and Isaac, which is Esau and Jacob's father, Rebecca's husband, is basically on his deathbed, and he calls Esau in, and he's like, I want you to go out, I'm about to die, I'm on my deathbed, I want you to go out, get me some venison, go hunting, get me some venison, and prepare some savory meat for me that I absolutely love, and when you bring it back to me, I'll bless you. So Esau's like, cool, this is what I want that blessing from my father. So he goes out hunting. Well, as he's leaving, and see, this is where I like I said, it gets kind of Game of Thrones, kind of, one of those shows. Rebecca, the mother, goes to Jacob, her youngest son, and she's like, I just heard your father tell your brother if he goes and gets him some venison and bring him back some savory meat, he'll bless him. So what I want you to do is go out, grab some young lambs, bring them back. I'll prepare the savory meat and give it to you to take into him, and you'll get the blessing instead. And at this time, Isaac had gone blind. He was old. He lost his vision. Probably couldn't hear very well. But Jacob was like, that's not gonna work. My brother's hairy and I'm not. And Rebecca was like, it's okay. I've got this. And he goes, well, surely if he figures it out, then he's gonna put a curse on me. And she said, no, the curse will be on me, not you. So he's like, all right. So he goes, he gets some lamb, he brings it back. Rebecca makes some savory meat, and she takes some of the skin from the lamb and puts it on the back of his hands and on the back of his neck. And so Jacob takes it in to where Isaac is, and Jacob's like, who are you? And he said, he's like, are you my son Esau? And he said, yes, I am. And when he went to set the food in front of his father, he felt the back of his hands and felt the hairiness of the lamb skin that was on his hands. And he was like, oh, okay, you are Esau. So he gave him this blessing. And as soon as the blessing, he got his blessing from his father, he bolted. And as soon as he left, Esau came in and was like, all right, father, here you go. Here's all that savory meat you wanted. And Isaac's like, who are you? And Esau's like, I'm Esau, He's like, well, no. Esau was just here and I gave him my blessing. However, it wasn't Esau, it was Jacob. Well, Esau kind of flipped out and was like basically begging, please, I don't have my birthright anymore because I sold it to Jacob. Now Jacob's stolen my blessing. Please give me a blessing too. Please, please. And so in a roundabout way, Isaac kind of gave Jacob his blessing as well. And like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of takeaway that I got from today's reading. I didn't really latch on to any like lesson or anything like that, which sometimes in the Bible I'm sure there is a lesson there, but it's not everybody's going to get the same lesson. Not everybody's going to catch a lesson, and that's okay. But this one, I didn't really catch much of a lesson. The lesson in the devotional was kind of focusing on Jacob kind of swindling the birthright out of Esau, which, is kind of talking about, like, basically it was, a moment of weakness for Esau. And it says, to watch out for those crisis tests. I don't really get that. But the overall story, reading the overall story, it was, and this is, I don't know if this is a good description, but it was highly entertaining to me. It read like a good, it could have been a good storyline for a good movie or a good TV show or something like that. So I was entertained. It captured me. And that's something that I found really cool, that there are still stories in the Bible that, even though I'm not really taking away a lesson from it, it's captivating and it's got me and I'm holding on to it. If you guys found a lesson in it, or if you guys saw something in it, read something that you were like, oh man, that really hits home, let me know in the comments below. I would love to know what you guys took away from tonight's reading, because, or today's reading, or whenever you're watching this video's reading. That was probably a loud ding, sorry, but we're still videoing, we're still here. It's interesting, like I said, that some people can take away certain things from stories that others don't. So let me know what you guys took away from tonight's reading. As far as tomorrow goes, we're gonna finish reading Genesis chapter 28. We're gonna start in verse 10 where we left off, and we're gonna read through chapter 30, verse 43, which is basically all of 30. So we're gonna start chapter 28, verse 10, and read all the way to the end of 30. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And if you haven't picked up a copy and you're wanting to follow along in some of the lessons that I don't necessarily get to, because I'm using this as a reading guide, a reading plan. But if you want to check out some of the lessons, I do have a link for 1 Year Through the Bible devotional down below in the description, as well as a everyday study Bible down in the description below. If you need it, or if you're looking for a really good study Bible and a really good devotional, the devotional is great. The reason I don't always go off of the lesson in this is because sometimes the lesson doesn't really capture me as much as something else in the reading. That's why I kind of am giving you guys not necessarily what's in the devotional, but more of what I'm taking away from the reading. So again, like I said, if you need something like these, go to the description and click the link and pick one up for yourself. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and thanks for tuning in. Good night. Goodbye. Whenever you watch this. Thanks.